Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's BDF44 coming at you with another video. Okay, so, you know, there was a time when I said I wanted to stay away from certain topics um, that I felt would stress me out or bring me to a bad space. But I don't think I'm stressed out at all about what I'm about to speak to you about right now. It's not one of those situations where I'm angry right now at all. Um, I'm just kind of matter of fact. And I hear, before I get into the topic, I hear what my community's saying in regards to this topic. This young girl is not being defended. She is not being considered a victim in some cases because of the actions that she was doing. And I made a video yesterday talking a little bit about my reaction to George Floyd's, uh, the Derek Chauvin trial conviction, and I was able to touch a little bit in on this story, but I didn't have her name. And the young lady's name was Mahkai Bryant. She was shot and killed 2 days ago by the police. Uh, and her situation was unique. It wasn't like George Floyd. It wasn't like some of these others because the body cam footage showed all of us that she was in the attempt of trying to stab another young girl with a whole lot of velocity, mind you. She was revving back with a pretty solid, a big knife. Some say it was a butter knife. I never got a chance to see that, but that thing looked like it was going to do real damage. And she was trying to stab this girl. Uh, if what the still in the body cam footage showed, in terms of just the still shot, showed the knife, and of course the footage itself that I saw and witnessed and rewound several times. Look, man, if the cop doesn't shoot that girl, Micaiah stabs the other girl. Period. Period. Now, Micaiah is the one that called the cops. Micaiah is the one who called the cops on the girl that she was about to stab, and whoever else was there with her. I guess the story was they was coming there to beat her up. Okay. And I don't know how things transpired in between the call and the cops arriving, but when the cops arrived, Micaiah was the one holding the weapon. Micaiah was the one attacking somebody else, and Micaiah was the one that they had to neutralize to protect the victim who was about to be stabbed. They don't have context when they arrive. They don't know who's jumping who. They didn't get a chance to ask any questions because when they got there, I guess, as it appeared in the camera, Micaiah was already getting ready to jump on somebody with a knife, attempting to take their life. Okay? This is what I saw. It ain't no way around those events. Now, could the cops have gone a different route in terms of maybe only pulling the trigger once or twice? We would have liked to see that, especially given the sensitivity of the circumstances surrounding our country. We would have loved to have seen the cop show some restraint in regards to how many times they pulled that trigger. At least give the girl some opportunity to face the music for what it is that she was attempting to do, instead of giving her an execution for a murder that she never got a chance to commit. But in a moment, and when I say a moment, that's literally all they had. Training is what takes over when you're an officer, I believe. When you got that little of time, which it looked like 0.8 seconds possibly, between Kaya's motioning to stab this other girl, Makaya, and the cop pulling the trigger 4 times to neutralize the threat. If we had more sensitive cops on the beat, or a more sensitive cop behind that particular gun, maybe we only see 2 shots let off there. Somebody who gave a damn about the community itself, someone who didn't necessarily see black people as incredible hawks, as I've been describing in my last several videos, then maybe you only see a shot let off there. But the way the training is set up, when someone's attacking somebody else, you're to be considerate of the person being attacked, not the attacker. And if this were not a 15, 16-year-old girl, African American in these times, if this is, say, that same black woman in pink and a grown man trying to stab her, and they shoot that man, the cop is a hero. You don't care how many shots they let off. You don't give a damn about how many shots they let off. So when I first heard that a 16-year-old girl had been shot by the cops, I asked, what could she have possibly done? What type of threat could she have possibly been to have deserved this kind of end? And then when I saw the video, I said, oh. That's all you can say. I can't lump her in there with George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery and all the other African American people who've lost their lives in this fight. I can't do that because I don't know that she's losing her life if she's not attacking somebody. I don't know that. I don't know that the cops go there and don't find out that these are the girls that are trying to jump her. If she doesn't have a knife in her hand, if she's just swinging with her fist. Like I said, I don't know what transpired between the time the phone call was made and the time the cops arrived. For all I know, she had been getting jumped. Somebody might have pulled out a knife over there. Somebody might have pulled out anything. And she might have been reacting with a weapon because that's what she got. For all I know, she wrestled that weapon away from girl in the pink. And now this is her time to get her, finally get the upper hand. But what you got to understand is now that the cops are here, the law is here. And the law has a right to do a multitude of things in this situation. And one of the things they have a right to do is kill you for trying to attack somebody with that weapon. And let's say she does get that off. Let's say the cop shoots her in the leg. Or let's say the cop does take one shot, like I would want them to do. And she still somehow completes that swing. Now you have potentially 2 dead people. So I can vilify the cop if I want to for not having more sensitivity, for seeing us as incredible hawks as I perceive it. Who knows how that cop actually perceived the situation. But to fit how my heart is feeling, I would like to think that they shot that girl 4 times because they couldn't clearly see that was a 15-year-old girl. Because their perception is screwed, for which I think a lot of theirs are. Even though that could be considered justifiable given the job and what they have to see from moment to moment to moment every single day. Some would say that's kind of how that goes. When you lose somebody out there because of hesitation or inactivity or wanting to shoot somebody in the leg, chances are the next time, if you lost that somebody, chances are the next time you're not going to let that happen. And cops have to deal with that kind of stuff a lot. So there's always a next time for something like that. There's always a potential regret for making a mistake and hesitation. So I understand the angles that don't fit the narrative. I do. That's why it's hard to defend this particular situation. But I'd say this is the point. Right here. Black people, if you're going to call the cops, you're bringing their training to you. And whatever comes with that is now on you. We have had enough of these stories to know that these things don't go our way. Regardless if the story fits our narrative or not. At the end of the day, we have enough evidence for us to have enough doubt. To where we have to wonder if calling the cops is a roll of the dice. Just like dealing with a volatile mind out of these streets, so too is dealing with a volatile mind behind the gun and the badge. And if you bring that person to you, you're bringing their training to you, you're bringing their traumas of the job to you, you're bringing whatever it is they're dealing with outside of the job that they're trying to balance the job off of to you. You are bringing their biases and their potential racism and their potential whatever negative thoughts as humans harbor, especially when they have a gun and a bunch of people around them that agree with them and that are on their side and on that gang mentality, that mob mentality. Yeah, you're bringing that to you. They can do whatever they want because they know if they call their buddies, they can have 100 of them at your doorstep, armed with the law to protect them legally. You're bringing that to you. You could be bringing a good cop to you too. You could be calling them and you could be bringing a hero your way. But That's a roll of the dice, buddy. You just don't know. And like I said, it's not gonna go your way. If they bring the wrong guys, it's not gonna go your way. And look, some people have said there's no such thing as a good cop because a good cop's gonna protect a bad cop. This culture of copping, so to speak, means that they are obligated to protect one another even when they're wrong in some cases. In most cases, it's just code, you know. So a good cop is put in a very, very difficult position anytime they decide to stop being a part of that. They're put in a difficult position, sometimes an unsafe position. So you consider that you're bringing that culture to you as well. You're calling a gang, man, but you're calling a gang that doesn't know you. You're calling a gang that doesn't back you. You're calling a gang that's supposed to protect others by keeping you at bay. Black man, black woman. Mexican man, Mexican woman. Like, if you're of color, this applies to you. They're not playing. When they come to your doorstep, especially if it's two black people in a fight with one another, and in this case, you gotta allow them to, but they're not gonna know who's who. When they come to your doorstep, if you fighting with somebody and you holding a weapon and y'all fighting to the point where y'all want to kill each other, they gonna shoot whoever's holding the weapon. They taught to. Even the good ones, they're taught to. They're not gonna be thinking, let me shoot him in the leg, because you may still be able to get that off. Whatever it is you're attempting to do. Let me shoot him one time. You still may be able to get that off. They only got a split second to figure it out. And they're not taught to shoot one time. They're not taught to pull the trigger once. They're taught to get you down. They get medals for stuff like that, man. Miss Bryant learned the hard way. And unfortunately, it cost her life. The most important thing that I said in all of this is that they're backed by the law. They're sanctioned to do this. It's okay for them to do whatever it is they're going to do to you. Most of the time. Chauvin was a very, very unique situation. Usually they get off. Usually they're not even considered wrong. Like in this case, they're considered right. Is that girl dead? Yes. Will she ever have opportunity at love or family or to experience certain things that life will provide her? No, she's gone. She called the cops. She was fighting people that she thought were an imminent threat to her. She finally got the upper hand to them. On them. Bang, 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 bang. And no one here to defend her because she was attacking. And because she did call them. Two things she made a mistake in doing. Calling the cops and attacking that girl in front of the cops. Deadly mistakes that anyone can make. Black, white, anybody. Nobody should attack anyone in front of the police. Period. I don't care if you on the defense. I don't care if you finally get an upper hand. Once the cops come, drop what you got, man. Drop it. They will shoot you. And they'll be justified in the law in doing so. That's what I have to say, man. Stop calling them, man. Literally, stop calling them. Unless this is a situation that's very unique in nature, like if a young girl is in trouble or something like that, if it's a situation where it's extremely sensitive, hey, they are necessary. If it's, if somebody's out here school shooting, hey, the cops are going to be necessary. It's not like we can do this without some type of organized entity in place to deal with the evils. Okay? Something is necessary. But the way this particular thing is set up, it ain't meant to protect everybody. It never was. It was meant to protect certain people. And prevent certain people from getting to certain people. Protecting property, things of that nature. Not protecting you, black guy. Not protecting you, black girl. Nah, that's not what this is set up to do. In a perfect world, it would be set up to protect everyone. And the way some people believe this thing works, it is set up to protect everyone. But we know better. Rest in peace to Miss Bryant. That's what I got, man. She brought this on herself. And sadly enough, she's a 16-year-old girl, so you would expect that. She wasn't supposed to be very wise. She wasn't supposed to be on point. There were a lot of people there. No one intervened in that place. On that camera, I saw a lot of people running. I saw a lot of people watching. I didn't see anybody trying to stop Mahkai from self-destructing, from killing the other girl. Didn't see any of that. So if we're going to address something, we can address that as well. This gladiator era that we're in, where we actually are entertained by real violence, yeah, destruction comes soon thereafter. We are in a gladiator days. Somehow over the last 10 years, we have stepped back into a world where we actually appreciate real violence and are entertained by it. And this particular scenario with Mahkai Bryant, yeah, that is a byproduct of that culture. Instead of people being outraged at the violence and trying to intervene to stop it, they're sitting back with their cameras, watching it happen, and as a result, the environment for which an event could take place took place. The cop arrived, Mahkai was a threat, Mahkai was shot. The cop is justified, only a few of us are outraged. And unfortunately, from what I'm seeing, most of the people who are outraged are people who are just angry, not necessarily looking at the situation and seeing it for what it is. Even I had to come to terms with that on my own self. I'm like, at the end of the day, Mahkai was going to stab that girl, and the cops are obligated by law to stop that from happening. However they pull that off, they're sanctioned to do it. That's just where we're at. That's what this country is, man. That's what it's about. So, what are you going to do? Cop is a hero as far as a lot of people are concerned. I don't know if you can feel like a hero if you kill a 15-year-old girl, but I don't know if you feel like a hero if you watch a 15-year-old girl shoot somebody when you're holding a gun or stab somebody while you're holding a gun. I don't know if you feel like a hero if either way. Just is what it is, man. Stop calling them. I'm out.